Freezing rainfall, and eventually snowfall getting in your forecast. More about that coming up for you in just a moment.
And all that precipitation could cause some issues on your morning drive in. Seth Padilla is live in the Storm Runner with what you need to know. Nicolas Maduro faced a judge. Lawmakers now demanding answers on the Venezuela operation. The latest from Brooklyn next. And some emerging travel trends of this new year. What to know before you book your next trip. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter on this Tuesday, January 6th. We will send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's tracking the forecast for us on this weather alert day. What can we expect out there today, Art?
Well, I tell you what, you hit the nail on the head. It's all about the road travel right now because of that accumulating ice that's been going on from Ladysmith all the way to Eau Claire and farther south and east as well. That eventually will start to work its way down to Winona, getting into La Crosse eventually as well. Holding on to hazardous roadways, you can see that with slippery roads. And of course, we're also seeing icy roads as well. That goes for areas along and north of I-90. We're picking that up, as you can see, most of which is the winter weather advisory. That's all that purple you see is all the way up to the north, and then staying north of La Crosse, you can see here, all the way getting into Winona, and eventually stays away from Holman as well. Quiet weather for La Crosse right now, but La Crosse's weather is slowly changing. You see the cloud cover starting to move in. The fog is starting to move in as well, so we're going to see some freezing fog, then some freezing rainfall. Then, of course, that'll finish out for the day, getting into more of that freezing rainfall. Lows this morning, you're going to see 18 to about, say, 30 degrees out there, possibly 31 by Bosco. Highs today, 33 to about 40 degrees. So we'll bump those temperatures up about 10 degrees or so, plus in some cases. Ice tracker kicks in. You're going to see most of that. The heaviest ice is up to the north by Ladysmith there, 13/100ths of an inch, and then everybody's a lot less. Why? Because we have a lot of rainfall associated with this as well. Up to maybe 1/4 of an inch plus in the forecast as we get into it just outside the region, up to about 1/2 an inch. You're seeing that rain and snow mix with the salmon color. That is the ice that continues to grow. You're seeing it's all the way down there towards Holman right now, getting into that rainfall, possibly moving in, crossing the river for another batch now, coming back again for La Crosse as well as Prairie du Chien and all the way down to the south as well. You see all that ice that is accumulating for Eau Claire. That is quite dangerous stuff, getting into Alma Center as well as portions of areas right by Prairie du Chien, and well, I should say Black River Falls. You're still holding that right now. Prairie du Chien is dry right now, so is Richland Center, getting into areas right by Bosco, but fog is there for you. Holding on to 32 degrees today with freezing rainfall, turning into rainfall to finish out for La Crosse by the mid-morning hours and into the afternoon as well. We'll see more of that for freezing rainfall all the way through the mid-morning hours and into the late morning hours for Eau Claire, and then turning into rainfall leading into the afternoon. We'll also find ourselves with increasing temperatures as we go through Wednesday and Thursday. Similar conditions for La Crosse as we get into those 40s on the way.
Thank you for that, Art. And those warmer temps sound nice until you hit the roads. Rain on top of snow, that is, can make for a slick, slushy mess. News 8 Now, Seth Padilla is in the Storm Runner with more on what we need to know this morning. Seth.
Good morning, Alexandra. Right now, I'm on Highway 53 in Galesville, and I'll give the viewers a live look at the road right now. So I did see some salt on the road, and it is pretty slick with the rain. It did rain at 4:30 a.m., and now it's coming on and off, but right now it's not super heavy when it does come and start raining, but it is leading, like I said, to the roads being slick, so be aware of that. And because of the rain, the ice is forming right now from that, so it's leading to the roads being quite dangerous. As Art mentioned, it might only get worse, so keep an eye on that, and you can do that by using our First Warn weather app to track the weather and latest road conditions. Reporting in Galesville, Seth Padilla, News 8 Now this morning.
Thank you for that, Seth. And to a developing story now, former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is back in a Brooklyn detention center this morning after pleading not guilty to federal narco-terrorism charges. At his arraignment yesterday, Maduro claimed he was kidnapped from home. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, lawmakers say a briefing on the Venezuela operation raised more questions than answers. Bradley Blackburn reports.
Clad in khaki and surrounded by security, deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores took their first trip to a Manhattan federal court. Inside, Maduro lashed out, declaring himself via a translator, quote, innocent, a decent man, and still the constitutional president of Venezuela, before the judge cut him off. He and his wife pleaded not guilty to federal weapons and drug-related narco-terrorism charges. Their next court date is now set for mid-March.
Both sides have waived their right to a speedy trial, meaning this could be quite a bit of time.
In Washington, key Trump administration officials briefed senior members of Congress on the Venezuela operation. Afterwards, top Democrats said they had more questions than answers.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
Lawmakers are also split on whether the U.S. is at war and if Congress should have been consulted.
We are not at war. We don't expect troops on the ground.
Without question, this is war. They bombed half of Caracas and then removed him.
NBC News reports that in a phone interview, President Trump said the U.S. is not at war with Venezuela, but with people who sell drugs. The president also warned the U.S. could take more action if Venezuela's newly sworn-in interim president stops cooperating. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Today, President Trump is set to address a closed-door meeting of House GOP lawmakers. Another lawmaker briefing with administration officials is expected tomorrow. Developing now, growing reaction to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's announcement that he won't seek re-election as his state is in the middle of a fraud scandal. Political experts say the scandal could lead to Democrats losing the governor's seat in November. News 8 Now's Grace Monk takes a look at what this means for the upcoming midterm election.
I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election.
The announcement comes as Walz continues to face scrutiny over an alleged fraud scandal in the state, which federal officials say could cost taxpayers up to $9 billion.
Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota.
One political expert says the scandal could have an impact on November's election.
This is a very high-stakes midterm election in Minnesota, and for Democrats, I am sure they were worried that Tim Walz could potentially drag down the rest of the ticket.
According to Chergosky, Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar has the best chance at winning the election.
Amy Klobuchar has a well-developed political brand in Minnesota, and I think the hope among Democrats is that she'll be able to distance herself if she runs for governor.
Klobuchar has won 4 statewide elections since 2006 for the United States Senate. Residents in Winona say they would support her running for governor.
I think that would be great for us to have a female governor.
If she wants to go for it, let her go ahead and see if she does get it. It'd certainly be a change of pace.
But despite her popularity, Chergosky says a scandal could still hurt Klobuchar's chances if she decides to run. Reporting in Winona, Grace Monk, News 8 Now this morning.
Klobuchar showed her support for Walz on social media, calling him a true public servant. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers also offering his support, saying he looks forward to continuing working with Walz. Some developing news out of Eau Claire County. ICE agents are reportedly operating across that county. The sheriff says local law enforcement hasn't been told where and hasn't been asked to help with any detentions. Today marks 5 years since the deadly January 6th insurrection in Washington, D.C. On January 6, 2021, pro-Trump rioters stormed the Capitol, demanding the results of the 2020 election be overturned. They attacked officers and destroyed parts of the building. More than 1,000 people were charged, but President Trump pardoned them after taking office again last year. And a News 8 follow-up. The man accused of killing a pregnant woman and her unborn child will face trial. A judge denied Matthew Sierra's motion to dismiss the charges Monday. The 38-year-old is accused of killing 27-year-old Alexis Pickett in November, then setting her home on fire. Charges were initially dismissed due to issues with the criminal complaint. The prosecutors refiled within 72 hours. Sierra pleaded not guilty and remains held on $1 million cash bond. A lacrosse committee will discuss a proposal that could make free food easier to access. News 8 Now's JDS McGee explains.
It looks like an ordinary fridge, but city leaders are debating whether they could soon play a bigger role in fighting food insecurity. Small food pantries already offer shelf-stable food to anyone who needs it. But now city leaders are considering whether that concept could expand by including community refrigerators where people could both leave and take food freely.
I think anytime you can do something that if you're helping people and it's not really costing the community any money, to me, if you can help people, the more power we can do.
Under the proposal, La Crosse will update the city's rules to clearly define what community pantries and fridges are. It also exempts pantries located on private property from needing a food business license or permit, as long as basic guidelines are followed. Supporters say the proposal is coming at a time when help is needed most.
Coming off of COVID, there's a lot of businesses that are struggling. There's people who are struggling, people who lost their jobs. Just so many things have gone up that I think people just sometimes need a little help.
The proposal is on the agenda for the city's J&A meeting on January 6th. If approved, it would then go forward to the full city council. Reporting in La Crosse, J.D. McGee, News 8 Now.
And the town of Campbell receiving $40 million in federal funds for a new water utility system that's addressing PFAS contamination that forced residents to rely on bottled water since 2021. The new system will include 2 water wells, a treatment facility, and more than 120,000 feet of piping.
No one wishes undrinkable water on anyone, and this is just the work of so many that allow us to be able to have a safe, long-term, permanent solution.
The investment includes a $30.8 million loan and an $8.5 million grant through the USDA. The time now is 6:10, still ahead. Big Oil heading to the White House to talk Venezuela investments. The end of an era, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is shutting down, and McDonald's being sued over the McRib. And after last year broke travel records once again, we'll tell you what's in store for this year. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Happy National Bean Day. Black beans, kidney beans, lima beans, however you like them. Today is the day to celebrate. Humans have been eating beans for thousands of years, and they're still one of the healthiest fiber-packed foods around. For now, we will leave you with a live look at our News 8 Storm Runner. If you're heading out the door this morning, make sure to give yourself a little bit of extra time. Some precipitation out there causing some slick spots. You see it looks pretty slick here. Stay with us. Your consumer news is next.
The New Year sale at Slumberland, up to 50% off list. Get your choice of these best-selling Lazy Bear recliners for just $5.55. Get a Sealy mattress for just $2.99. Pay no interest for 36 months with approved credit. Only at Slumberland.
I do like knowing the person that's sitting across from my desk. I've formed a lot of relationships over the years based on trust. When I see the look on a member's face, when I say, yes, this loan is good, you're good to go, it makes me happy. To me, being the team you can trust is honesty. When you do a loan with me at Firefighters Credit Union, like everything we do, it's not about the car, it's about you.
'Cause everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
Everyone deserves to be connected. Big cities, small towns, everywhere in between. And staying connected shouldn't break the bank. That's why T-Mobile and US Cellular have joined forces. The best network just got bigger. And we're combining it with the local service you know and trust. Join now and save up to 20% versus Verizon.
Welcome to Hotel 44 North, where history, nature, and hospitality meet. Nestled in the heart of downtown Winona, our boutique retreat features 76 elegant rooms, including 24 spacious suites with kitchenettes, perfect for weekend getaways or extended stays. Step outside to river views, bluff-top scenery, downtown shops, and scenic trails. Inside, enjoy luxury rooms, a pool, and sauna, all backed by our best rate guarantee. Unwind in our cozy lobby or sift craft cocktails at Latitude Bar and Lounge. Hotel 44 North, your place in Winona.
Every Sunday night, he can't sleep. But not this Sunday.
When you really need to sleep, ZzzQuil has no equal. Get the deeply restorative sleep you need. ZzzQuil, not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
You know what's all good? Zero heartburn. That's why I take Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day blocks heartburn before it starts. Prilosec OTC. One pill, zero heartburn. All good.
La Crosse Fireplace Company has been helping families build a warm and cozy gathering area in their homes for over 25 years. With their huge selection of Heat and Glow fireplaces, you're sure to find the option and style to perfectly fit your home. And we couldn't do this without our dedicated employees. Whether it's a remodel or new construction, La Crosse Fireplace Company is devoted to making your experience wonderful from beginning to end. Heat and Glow from La Crosse Fireplace Company, because your place is by the fire.
The New Year mattress sale at Slumberland, up to 50% off list. Get a Sealy Queen mattress for just $2.99 or a Sealy Posturepedic for $5.99. Get 60-month financing on Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster. Save big, only at Slumberland.
In our consumer news this morning, Big Oil meets with the Trump administration Thursday to talk Venezuela. President Trump is pushing energy companies to invest heavily in the country after the U.S. captured former President Nicolas Maduro. Oil stocks rose on the news. Chevron, the only U.S. company operating in Venezuela, jumped 5%. And the Trump administration's push to cut federal funding has ended the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. CPB's board voted yesterday to dissolve the organization after Congress pulled its financial backing. The agency launched in 1968 and has funded PBS, NPR, and hundreds of local radio and TV stations for decades. McDonald's is facing a class action lawsuit over the McRib. The suit accuses a Chicago-based branch of false advertising, saying the sandwich has no rib meat. McRibs contain just 5 ingredients: pork, barbecue sauce, onions, pickles, and a bun. Travel once again hit new records last year, showing no signs of slowing down in the years after the pandemic. So what does this year have in store? Wendy Gillette takes a look.
Tourism is cruising into 2026 after hitting new highs last year. AAA projects a record 21.7 million Americans will take an ocean cruise this year, compared to 20.7 million last year, a 4.5% increase.
We're going to continue to see the ports really strong in the Caribbean and Alaska, as well as the Mediterranean.
Cruising is also growing in popularity among younger and more affluent travelers. There was a new pavilion dedicated to the industry at the International Luxury Travel Market's annual conference in Cannes, France in December. An ILTM report finds more than 2/3 of those under age 45 have taken a cruise within the past 2 years. Off the high seas, the travel site Expedia says, expect to see an increase in sports tourism of all kinds this year, including 16 cities in North America hosting the FIFA World Cup. Expedia also highlights the continued growth of set jetting, visiting locations associated with a movie or TV series like The White Lotus, as well as what it calls salvage stays.
I stayed in a redone jail, a redone post office, even warehouses that at one time would have been torn down to make way for a new hotel are being repurposed with their original magic intact.
In terms of emerging destinations, Antarctica, Big Sky, Montana, Iceland, Norway, Poland, and Wales all make the list.
Travel industry forecasts show pricing for domestic and international flights will remain stable or decline. Many passengers are visiting countries where the dollar is strongest.
I think travelers are looking to get value. Places like Brazil, Central America, Caribbean, and even New Zealand and Australia have better exchange rates for travelers.
The Point Sky founder Brian Kelly also predicts the continued growth of artificial intelligence to plan trips. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
That's a look at your consumer news. We'll send it over to Art now. He's got an update on our forecast.
All right, what's going on outside? Well, this is what's happening. Let's take a quick peek here. We get into CityCam. You have more cloud cover starting to work in, maybe some freezing fog on the way for La Crosse right now, eventually coming off the river. Holding on to the possibility of Eau Claire, quiet weather for you right now, and we'll be picking up more rainfall on you as the second batch of that rain is on the way. Now, we'll get into areas right by Winona. You're looking at 33 degrees for you. Feels like 35 degrees on your skin with at least 7 miles of visibility out there as well. We'll be picking up more rainfall and a mix getting into your way as well. Here, holding on to, again, the winter weather alerts. You're holding on to this winter weather advisory that goes all the way into the noon hour. That's going to be pretty much for hazardous road travel out there because of the accumulating ice and the freezing rainfall that's in play. We'll get into this. We have a little bit of fog out there, and that's going to wind up being freezing fog because, you know, those temperatures are in the 20s and the 30s this early morning. Giving way to this, though, all that salmon colors I mentioned before, that is growing ice, accumulating ice in your forecast right now up along I-94. Rainfall you can see with the green all the way with the yellow, so it's light to moderate rainfall in the forecast for you there, carrying over all the way down towards Winona now, getting in from Rochester, crossing the river, and then heading towards La Crosse. We'll get into that, and then no quiet weather will resolve after that. We'll get back into some rainfall, getting the forecast with a little bit of an area of low pressure sweeping right on top of us. We'll also find ourselves getting into 20s and 30s. You get that mild air coming in, the warmer air also on the way as we get into tomorrow, so that's coming in from the desert southwest. We have the freezing rainfalls. We go through the morning hours, turning into rainfalls. We go into the afternoon. I suspect, though, we're going to see a little little extra rainfall and turning to freezing rainfall as the temperatures are going to still hold on to those low 30s in the forecast. So we'll see a little bit more of that going into the afternoon, possibly extending all the way out to about 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We have an area of high pressure that's building, ushering in more of that warmth on the way, and that continues to do so. But you see more of that moisture from Billings all the way back into Minnesota, as well as tracking our way, getting to La Crosse. Well, that will happen for the day going into tonight, to this afternoon as well. We'll have that rainfall, as you can see, tracking out gradually as we have that first batch coming out, and in and out it goes. We'll have this as we go into the daytime. You'll see right to the 6:30 hour here, holding on to sunrise time actually. You'll see this continue on all the way to the 7:30 hour for the kids going to school up along I-94 and then back down to areas right by La Crosse. So everybody's going to be in it with the exception of Prairie du Chien and Bosqueville. They do have rainfall that is on the way with more fog on the way for you this early morning too. Getting into this, you're going to see this continue on as we go to the 10 o'clock hour. We'll stretch it all the way to 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock hour. From that, we also see temperatures in the 30s with the lower 30s up to the north, picking up snowfall starting to develop up there. That will carry over into the afternoon. You see it tracking out of the area, out of the way, and eventually we'll see more of that coming back. Another batch comes in for Eau Claire as you go into the 1 o'clock hour, continuing on all the way to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock hour for Eau Claire with a mix of rain and snow, turning into snowfall, pretty much going all the way down to Black River Falls, Sparta possibly in that as well, and eventually we'll even see La Crosse get touched by some snowfall to finish out by the 5 o'clock hour, getting into the evening commute now. So that means more of that slippery roadway is going to be on the roads for folks going to home as they finish off work or whatever they're doing today. And we get that demarcation line with cooler air on the way, holding on to drier and clearer skies, holding on to temperatures in the 20s. We'll be picking up ice amounts. You can see 13/100ths of an inch or so. That continues to lower as we go all the way into this morning hours. You're seeing at least a quarter of an inch to about a half an inch of rainfall in the forecast, extending all the way down to the south as well. That's what also is a problem. We'll also have ourselves with highs for Wednesday, 30s and 40s widespread, with more 40s on the way. We'll see that again as we get into Eau Claire. You're going to look at the possibility of, again, bringing in more of that warmer air going into the next few days, then cooling it down gradually. You have 38 today, 41 tomorrow, 40 for Thursday. Rainfall comes back again in the afternoon, all the way into the overnight hours, turning to a mix of rain and snow, turning into Friday with more of a mix of rain and snow, with Saturday holding on to more snowfall in the forecast as a 60% chance. Be safe and have a lovely day.
Thank you, Art. Back to work, back to school, and right into flu season. Why doctors say this year is hitting harder than usual after the morning sports blitz.
Unbeaten records on the line. A couple important games in the hardwood last night, plus the Coulee Region Cyclones looking to snap a losing streak on the ice. The Blitz is coming your way next.
Have you seen the new expansion at Sportsland inside Ace of La Crosse? Now there's more of what you need for hunting and fishing, gear, clothing, and equipment all in one place. With quality products, great prices, and expert advice, you'll find it all at Sportsland at Ace of La Crosse.
Mounjaro for adults with type 2 diabetes.
Will this be the year I beat my personal best?
Will this be the year
I beat my
personal best?
and raise the bar. Yet again. Will this be the year everything clicks
And break through.
Will this be the year you ask your doctor about Mounjaro?
With Mounjaro, 3 out of 4 people reach an A1C under 7%. And some people lost up to 25 pounds.
This is my year.
Don't take Mounjaro if you're allergic to it, or if you or someone in your family had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or vision changes. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas and gallbladder problems. Taking Mounjaro with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Tell your doctor if you're nursing, pregnant, planning, or taking birth control pills. And before scheduled procedures with anesthesia. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting. Doctor if you're nursing, dehydration, and may cause kidney problems.
This is my year. What about you?
In 1969, Taco John's combined Western traditions with Mexican flavors and created West-Mex. More than 50 years later, it still tastes like a good idea. Get crispy tacos for just $1.39 every Taco Tuesday, only at Taco John's.
Dad, that's not a parachute. Need an eye exam? Scheduling is such a hassle. VisionWorks makes it simple. That is simple. And that is a long way down.
VisionWorks. See the difference.
Where'd you get all this stuff?
At Sportsland at Ace of La Crosse.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to go get some myself.
Sportsland at Ace of La Crosse, your one-stop shop for all your hunting and fishing needs. Stop in today.
Keeping you safe and ahead of the storm with current conditions and updated video forecasts from the local team that warns you first. The News 8 Now First Warn weather app, giving you more than what you'd expect. Get it now. No, seriously, like, right now. News 8 Now Sports.
Welcome into the Blitz. Well, January is here, and that means the high school basketball season is heating up. Last night, we had a non-conference clash between two teams with a combined record of 17-2. Let's go to Aliva Strum High School. Cardinals ranked #1 in D5, hosting the Arcadia Raiders. First half action. Cardinals hot out of the gates. Medea Brown, nice move on the drive, lays it in for 2. Next possession, it's Brown, this time from beyond the arc. She's going to knock it down for 3 of her 18 points on the night. Raiders keeping up the fight. Tatum Drazkowski jumps the pass. She's going to take it coast to coast for this score. She finished with 19, but ES just too much firepower. Avery Glens from deep, and she buries it. And then Avery Spangberg coming up here, going to pick the pocket of the Raider player and go all the way. Aliva Strum staying unbeaten as they get the win, 63-45. A couple of teams off to fast starts in the Dairyland, clashing in Osseo. Both teams coming out of the gates comfortable, trading buckets as Thunder senior Mason Schmidt drills a 3 from beyond the arc. Hornets guard Jay Stetzer then responds by creating some space and knocking down the mid-range jumper to stay neck and neck. But the hustle from players like Brooks Coxley would help snag momentum as his steal is eventually going to find its way into the hands of Mason Knutson. He's going to pull up from 3 and bury it to kickstart a big run for the offense. The Thunder keep their perfect start alive as they win their 7th in a row, taking down the Hornets 74-48. Let's get on over to the Panther Den. Cooley Region Cyclones at home. No score in the second period, but that changes when Brooke Borkenhagen breaks the tie with a sweet backhand finish. But that lead didn't last long. 16 seconds later, puck is going to find Sydney Gilbertson in front of the net. Off the nice pass, she slots it home. But then, after the Cyclones kill the Icebergs power play, Borkenhagen skates in, and if it ain't Brooke, don't fix it. That was her second of the night, but Stoughton comes back to get the win, 3-2. And if you want to read more about the departure of former UWL head football coach Matt Janis and where he'll head next, head over to news8000.com. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you back here later tonight.
Welcome in 2026 with Home Furniture's New Year's sale. Get up to an extra 10% off sale prices, like this queen bedroom suite for $17.99 and this dining set for just $22.49. Start the new year in style during the New Year's sale at Home Furniture.
Electrical problems are a headache. We started Olson Brothers Electric to make your next project simple and stress-free.
We've invested in the technology to make working with us easy.
You can book your appointment online in minutes.
Get text updates so you're never left guessing. We're taking electrical service into the digital age.
We are always transparent with our estimates.
Any electrical project, no matter the size, we've got you covered.
We keep electrical service simple.
We're the Olson Brothers.
Start your new year off right and save big money right now at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life, and Menards carries automotive products from trusted brands to help keep your vehicle on the road. Quaker State Full Synthetic Motor Oil is engineered to give more power, more wear protection, and longer engine life. Get a 5-quart jug for $16.99 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
The independent living is really nice because you have your own apartment and it's just like living at home.
Although I thought I was way too young to be moving in a place like this, finding Welcome Home was just like finding a home.
Live your life the way you want to and don't have to worry about all the other chores and insurance and things like that.
I like that we get a balanced meal.
Those little helps really help me to be independent.
The pain was so much that I couldn't really focus on my job.
Plantar fasciitis. I just was not a happy person.
And I saw the Good Feet store.
And then all of a sudden, I just get these arch supports.
I'm just happier. I feel happier.
It was amazing.
It's a lot easier to be nice when you're not uncomfortable. It's pretty awesome.
The arch supports are never coming out of my shoes.
Nothing worked for me until I walked into that store. It changed my life.
I don't really know if I could put a price on that.
Reclaim the good life with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store. Good feet, good life.
In Winona, your perfect stay starts at Hotel 44 North. Stay in the heart of downtown with elegant rooms and spacious suites with kitchenettes, ideal for work, play, or a little of both. Wake up to breathtaking river and bluff views. Then hit the trail, shops, and waterfront just steps away. After the adventure, relax in the pool or sauna, recharge in the fitness center, or toast the night at Latitude Bar and Lounge. Hotel 44 North. Comfort, style, and hometown charm.
It's the New Year's mattress sale at Home Sleep Express. Get 10% off sale prices on Thomas Cole Sleep and Prana Sleep. Plus free white glove delivery when you spend $12.99. Celebrate the savings during the New Year's mattress sale. Going on now at Home Sleep Express.
Miss a story or need to watch it again? Find them all on the News 8 Now app.
Freezing rain is a part of our morning, and that'll continue all the way to the mid-morning hours as well. More about that in just a moment.
And all that precipitation means trouble on the roads. Our storm runner is out live to let you know what to expect. Nicolas Maduro faced a judge. Now lawmakers are demanding answers on the Venezuela operation. We'll have the latest from New York. And some emerging travel trends to keep your eye on before you plan your 2026 getaway. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter. It is Tuesday, January 6th, 6:31 a.m. You might be feeling like you need a getaway already, although we're just in day 2 of getting back in the swing of things. We'll send it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett. The weather is hitting us with another reality check this morning, isn't it?
100%, my friend. Yeah, that'll continue on. In fact, it's going to go widespread within this hour to the next hour as well, and then go right through the mid-morning hours. Freezing rainfall as well in the forecast, giving into the possibility of snowfall later on in the afternoon as well. Let's get into how this all shapes up. This freezing rainfall continues for this morning into the afternoon. Hazardous travel due to slick and icy roadways out there. Areas along and north of I-90. Now, right now, it's mostly along I-94. That's going to track towards Winona, giving way to, again, you see the winter weather alert there. This is weather advisory. This is in play all the way up to Winona. So that's happening right about now. That will continue to track all the way into Winona and get into La Crosse as well to finish out going into this early morning. La Crosse has at least 33 degrees out there right now, calm conditions, 31 for Eau Claire. Winona has at least 34 degrees out there and calm as well. Temperatures across the board for everyone, 18 to about 30 degrees. So we have a mixed bag of 18, or should say teens, 20s, and the 30s in your forecast, and that's going to linger for the better part of the day. High temperatures, well, we're looking at 33 to about 40 degrees, so we'll bump you up about 10 degrees or so in some cases. Ice still holding on up to Ladysmith there, the biggest batch, up to 13/100s, a little less for areas right by Eau Claire, and then getting down to the south, fewer conditions holding on there as well. Why? Because we have a lot of rainfall still in the forecast, up to a quarter of an inch or so or less. We'll get into that salmon color. You can see that is ice to continue to grow. It's growing all the way down to the south by Winona as well as La Crosse. Rainfall is going to be associated with that as well, so that's going to make an icy, slushy mess in your forecast. So when I come back, I'll have a better overview of how this all shapes up, but you can see how it is growing by Eau Claire. It'll get into areas by Black River Falls, and then right back down to areas into areas by La Crosse and Winona, and eventually down to the south. You're still on the drier slot right now. You had earlier rainfall in the 4 o'clock hour, and now you're still dry going into at least the mid-morning hours. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. And the warmer temps sound nice until you hit the roads. Rain on top of snow can make for a slick, slushy mess. News 8 Now, Seth Padilla is live in the Storm Runner for us this morning. Seth, how are the roads out there now?
Good morning, Alexandra. Right now I'm on Highway 53 in Whitehall, and honestly, right now the roads seem to be getting worse and worse. So I'll give you guys a live look at the road conditions at this moment. So today when we got out here, it started to rain at about 4:30 a.m., stopped, and then it went on and off again, and then it started again at 6 a.m., and that's about where we are at now, and it's still going strong. So as you can see, the roads are slippery, so if you do drive, please use caution and do not speed, because the ice is forming right now from that rain, as Art has mentioned. We actually did see a car in a ditch a couple miles back with a tow truck, so please make sure you are taking your time driving, taking those turns slow, and giving yourself time to stop. And don't forget, you can track the weather and road conditions with our First Warn Weather app. Reporting in Whitehall, Seth Padilla, News 8 Now this morning.
All right, Seth, thank you for that important update. We'll check back in with you shortly. And to a developing story, former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro back in Brooklyn this morning after pleading not guilty to federal narco-terrorism charges. At his arraignment yesterday, Maduro claimed he was kidnapped from his home. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, where we're taking a live look, lawmakers say a briefing on the Venezuela operation raised more questions than answers. CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports.
Clad in khaki and surrounded by security, deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores took their first trip to a Manhattan federal court. Inside, Maduro lashed out, declaring himself via a translator, quote, innocent, a decent man, and still the constitutional president of Venezuela, before the judge cut him off. He and his wife pleaded not guilty to federal weapons and drug-related narco-terrorism charges. Their next court date is now set for mid-March.
Both sides have waived their right to a speedy trial, meaning this could be quite a bit of time.
In Washington, key Trump administration officials briefed senior members of Congress on the Venezuela operation. Afterwards, top Democrats said they had more questions than answers.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
Lawmakers are also split on whether the U.S. is at war and if Congress should have been consulted.
We are not at war. We don't expect troops on the ground.
Without question, this is war. They bombed half of Caracas and then removed him.
NBC News reports that in a phone interview, President Trump said the U.S. is not at war with Venezuela, but with people who sell drugs. The president also warned the U.S. could take more action if Venezuela's newly sworn-in interim president stops cooperating. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Today, President Trump is set to address a closed-door meeting of House GOP lawmakers. Another lawmaker briefing with administration officials on the Venezuela operation is expected tomorrow. And growing reaction to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's announcement this morning that he won't seek re-election as his state is in the middle of a fraud scandal. Political experts say the scandal could lead to Democrats losing the governor's seat in November. News 8's Grace Monk takes a look at what this means for the upcoming midterm election.
I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election.
The announcement comes as Walz continues to face scrutiny over an alleged fraud scandal in the state, which federal officials say could cost taxpayers up to $9 billion.
Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota.
One political expert says the scandal could have an impact on November's election.
This is a very high-stakes midterm election in Minnesota, and for Democrats, I am sure they were worried that Tim Walz could potentially drag down the rest of the ticket.
According to Chergosky, Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar has the best chance at winning the election.
Amy Klobuchar has a well-developed political brand in Minnesota, and I think the hope among Democrats is that she'll be able to distance herself if she runs for governor.
Klobuchar has won 4 statewide elections since 2006 for the United States Senate. Residents in Winona say they would support her running for governor.
I think that would be great for us to have a female governor.
If she wants to go for it, let her go ahead and see if she does get it. It'd certainly be a change of pace.
But despite her popularity, Chergosky says the scandal could still hurt Klobuchar's chances if she decides to run. Reporting in Winona, Grace Monk, News 8 Now this morning.
Klobuchar showed her support for Walz on social media, calling him a true public servant. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers offered his support, saying he looks forward to continuing to work with Walz. And developing news out of Eau Claire County, where ICE agents are reportedly operating. The sheriff says local law enforcement hasn't been told where and hasn't been asked to help with any detentions. And today marks 5 years since the deadly January 6th insurrection in Washington, D.C. On this day in 2021, pro-Trump rioters stormed the Capitol, demanding the results of the 2020 election be overturned. They attacked officers and destroyed parts of the building. More than 1,000 people were charged, but President Trump pardoned them after taking office again last year. And the man accused of killing a pregnant woman and her unborn child will face trial. A judge denied Matthew Sierra's motion to dismiss the charges Monday. The 38-year-old is accused of killing 27-year-old Alexis Pickett in November, then setting her home on fire. Charges were initially dismissed due to issues with the criminal complaint, but prosecutors refiled within 72 hours. Sierra pleaded not guilty and remains held on a $1 million cash bond. His next court date is January 30th. A lacrosse committee will discuss a proposal that could make free food easier to access. News 8 Now's Jadis McGee explains.
It looks like an ordinary fridge, but city leaders are debating whether they could soon play a bigger role in fighting food insecurity. Small food pantries already offer shelf-stable food to anyone who needs it. But now city leaders are considering whether that concept could expand by including community refrigerators where people could both leave and take food freely.
I think anytime you can do something that you're helping people and it's not really costing the community any money, to me, if you can help people, the more power we can do.
Under the proposal, La Crosse will update the city's rules to clearly define what community pantries and fridges are. It also exempts pantries located on private property from needing a food business license or permit, as long as basic guidelines are followed. Supporters say the proposal is coming at a time when help is needed most.
Coming off of COVID, there's a lot of businesses that are struggling. There's people who are struggling, people who lost their jobs. Just so many things have gone up that I think people just sometimes need a little help.
The proposal is on the agenda for the city's J&A meeting on January 6th. If approved, it would then go forward to the full city council. Reporting in La Crosse, Jadis McGee, News 8 Now.
And as flu cases continue to increase nationwide, the CDC is now classifying the season as moderately severe. Gwen Baumgartner reports.
As many of us head back to work and school after a long break, the severe flu season has taken hold and is causing worry.
Especially for my kids, you know, I wouldn't want them getting sick.
The latest report from the CDC shows flu cases surged over the holidays.
There are a number of different drivers. One is that we have this H3N2 influenza virus that's circulating. What's unique about this virus is it is mutated relative to what we've seen circulating in the past. The currently available vaccines protect you against severe disease, hospitalization, and death, but will not prevent all infections.
45 states are reporting high or very high flu activity. That's up from 30 states the week prior. There have been at least 11 million illnesses, 120,000 hospitalizations, and 5,000 deaths so far this season, including 9 children. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says lower flu vaccination rates may also be driving this difficult season.
When you see a big drop in people getting vaccinated, it means that there's less population immunity and the virus can spread more rapidly.
Health officials stress it's not too late to get a flu vaccine. The season often peaks in January and February and can last into March. Other steps you can take to help stop the spread of germs: cover your coughs and sneezes, wash those hands, and remind the kids.
I always tell them just wash your hands, you know, cover your mouth, go anywhere, always just keep washing your hands. I like to carry hand sanitizer all the time.
Also, try to avoid close contact with people who are sick, which right now may seem hard to do. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And even if you have had the flu this season and haven't been vaccinated, doctors still recommend getting the flu shot since it protects against multiple strains of the virus. Coming up in your Buzz Report, the Critics' Choice Award taking center stage over the weekend. We'll have a recap of the big winners.
Support local businesses by shopping at the Gourmet Candy Outlet in Jackson Plaza. Make every celebration deliciously unforgettable with fresh roasted nuts, fudge, and European chocolates. Or create your own gift box of assorted confections. Shop local, shop Jackson Plaza.
A home you love. A business that endures. It takes your vision, your hard work, and your dedication to bring them to life. The right tools help. Case IH truly understands your vision and what you need to achieve it. That's why we build the equipment, the local dealer and service network, and the data and tech you want today and tomorrow. Because we don't just build our equipment to work, we build it to work for you.
Visit any of your local Johnson Tractor dealerships, now including La Crosse and Richland Center.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms. With my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. But just okay isn't okay. And I was done settling.
If you still have symptoms after trying Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq works differently. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve joint pain, stiffness, and swelling as fast as 2 weeks for some. It can relieve fatigue and stop joint damage. And in PSA, Rinvoq can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events, infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant, or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Done settling?
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq.
And take back what's yours.
AbbVie can help you save.
So that no matter what mess you brought into this church today, no matter what addiction and what struggle, no matter how many times you've doubted God or questioned God, that because of Jesus Christ, God's not holding it over your head. Instead, there is this amazing grace, there is this unconditional love that you and I can say, God doesn't just put up with us. God loves us.
Join Pastor Mike Novotny each Sunday. Watch Time of Grace on Channel 8, WKBT.
We see you out there being an original, which is why you shop at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Because you know we have everything you want and need at prices that give you the most for your money. Now that we're past the holidays, it's time to gift yourself 2 packs of queen-sized pillows, just $9.99. Select holiday storage is 20% off. And assorted Meow Mix cat food, just $18.99. That's what I'm talking about. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Support local businesses by shopping at the Gourmet Candy Outlet in Jackson Plaza. Make every celebration deliciously unforgettable with fresh roasted nuts, fudge, and European chocolates. Or create your own gift box of assorted confections. Shop local, shop Jackson Plaza.
All right, well, good morning to you. As I mentioned before now, City Cam 8, showing how this all plays out. More of this cloud cover is kind of moving in. That's going to give us that chance of getting that rainfall down to the ground as more of this moisture in the upper atmosphere continues to push into the region, getting towards downtown. We'll also take a look here as we go right into Eau Claire. You're starting to see a little bit of rainfall returning in. Of course, on the lens, you can see the rainfall, more of the watermarks out in there that are starting to increase now. Holding on to the possibility of Winona, that too is going to work into your favor as well with more of that rainfall in the process coming your way. And of course, we'll see that slushy, icy conditions start to begin as we finish out going through the 6 o'clock hour into the 7 o'clock hour and into the mid morning hours. 33 degrees feels like 32 degrees out there with 5 miles of visibility. So Winona has lost a couple of miles of visibility now, getting closer towards dense fog. Winter weather advisory, you can see most of which is up to the north. That's where we're seeing the big bulk of that all the way up into Russ County up there. In fact, you'll see as we get into Eau Claire, all the way down to Black River Falls, we get into Winona, and then right back into areas just shy of La Crosse to the east. We'll see more of that rainfall and freezing rain in the forecast. Getting into it, we have some fog still developing here. We're at least 1 to about 4 miles of visibility in the forecast. Having all that salmon color there, that is expanding ice out there as well. You can see how wide it goes all the way from Minnesota, extending all the way out to the lake. In fact, you'll see rainfall down to the south now starting to make its way, its move in there. That area of low pressure is also starting to push it from Rochester up a little bit towards Winona, and then eventually it's going to pull all the way down to the south as you get into areas by La Crosse, and eventually Sparta and Black River Falls are going to be in that as well. So this continues on. We're holding on to 20s and 30s in the forecast. As you get a little bit closer here, you can still see this continue to move in with more on the way. I've been talking about snowfall for the last half hour or so. That's going to be kicking in, getting into the forecast as well. As that continues to develop, it's going to be working into the afternoon for us. So freezing rainfall pretty much is the major threat. Getting into rainfall associated with that as well. That's going to make a slushy mess. Getting into light winds as well, and the temperatures we just spoke about. Let's get into how this all shapes up. You've got high pressure building down to the southwest, working its way with the moisture, and of course all that heat starting to work its way toward us here as that continues on. Moisture along the northern tier of the nation all the way up into Canada, working its way towards La Crosse as well, and that continues all the way into the afternoon. The possibility of highs today, well, today we're looking at least some 30s, widespread to the 40s in the forecast. We'll also see as we get into tomorrow, we'll see more widespread 40s in the forecast, and that will continue for a couple of days. We'll also see Tuesday here, you can get into about 6 o'clock at 6:30 hour, you're seeing this rainfall snowfall mixing in with that freezing rainfall, that ice also accumulating and pushing out to the region. That continues to move in there. So if there wasn't that much rainfall, if we were a little bit on the colder side, like say more 20s, you'd see more snow on the ground and more of a wintry mix, and that would be a messy commute. That continues on as we go through the daytime or the morning hours into the afternoon. You're going to be seeing snowfall start to pick up now, starting to do that up to the northern tier of our region, and that continues to do so all the way into the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock hour. Back again for Eau Claire with another batch of that coming back again with rainfall, a mix of rain and snow, ice associated with that as well, and of course snowfall continues to develop and grow all the way to Black River Falls down to La Crosse, as well as portions of Black River Falls and Sparta getting into that as well. Then that tracks out of the region, and we should be pretty much done by the time we get into the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hour. That demarcation line comes in, colder air comes in, 20s take over, and as that ends, we'll see more of that colder air starting to work back in for the overnight. And then it goes back up again once we get into at least the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock hour. Holding on to this little line continues to drop as we get into a 12/100 of an inch. Now we'll see that mostly for there. That's the big batch of ice holding on for everybody else. We've got the rainfall, about a half an inch to about a quarter of an inch of rainfall in the forecast, so that's why we're not seeing a lot of ice. Holding on to the possibility of Wednesday, 30s and the 40s, picking up that temperature, widespread 40s in the forecast, where Eau Claire is going to hold on to the possibility of, again, temperatures warming up also in the 30s and the 40s, giving way to alert day today, 80% chance with drier conditions for Wednesday. Thursday, we get into a 40% chance now, picking that up going into your Friday, all the way with snowfall on the way. That should be a 50% chance possibly. Then snowfall takes over on Saturday and finishes out for the day and into the evening as snowfall about 29 degrees for your forecast. Back to you.
In our Morning Buzz report, one battle after another, one Best Picture at this weekend's Critics' Choice Awards. The political thriller is streaming on HBO Max if you want to see it for yourself. And Timothée Chalamet took home Best Actor for Marty Supreme, Jessie Buckley winning Best Actress for Hamnet. Wheel of Fortune turns 51 today. The game show premiered on this day in 1975. Pat Sajak and Vanna White becoming TV icons, hosting for more than 4 decades.
You moved into a Black community where we are not on the priority list to save our lives. They've been wanting to get us out of there for a very long time.
1 year after the Eaton fire, survivors face a new crisis. A new documentary shows families who lost everything are now losing mortgage relief and rental assistance, putting them at risk of homelessness. All the Walls Came Down debuts tomorrow on the LA Times website and YouTube, the 1 year anniversary of the fire. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next.
Here at Maxwell White, we know how valuable your time is. From issues with your hot water to slower clogged drains, our team is always on time with friendly service and solutions you can trust. Don't wait. Contact Maxwell White. Plumbing done right.
Do you want free internet? Forever? You got it. Really. We mean it. Spectrum is offering free fiber-powered internet forever. Want it? Just call this number and switch 4 mobile lines to Spectrum for a lifetime of internet you never pay for. It's not a trial. It's an unprecedented offer. So we'll say it again. Free fiber-powered internet forever. Have you called yet? Because your internet is forever. But this ad ends now.
As your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we wear many hats. We take pride in serving our members and our community by going the extra mile in everything we do. Because we not only work here, we live here. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source for power and information.
At Toma Health, our accredited sleep services diagnose and treat sleep disorders so you can get the rest you deserve.
My name is Nick Ronke, and I'm from Toma, Wisconsin. I was having trouble staying awake during the day, and my fiance actually told me I was not breathing at night, so I decided I should come in and get tested. Now I'm getting a full night's sleep, and I feel amazing in the morning. I would recommend sleep services at Toma Health. Visit Toma Health Sleep Services for a better night's sleep.
Wow, Forest Berry Fudge is amazing. This is melting in my mouth.
Do
Dill pickle? Whoa, that's actually good.
Holy fudge. This is the best thing ever. Expressions brought to you by Valley Fudge and Candy. Find us in Coon Valley, Wisconsin, or order online today.
The quality of their products are fabulous. That's why I always get my faucets and things through them, because I know they're going to last. Everything they've ever replaced, toilets, faucets, shower heads, has lived its life to its fullest.
It's definitely going to be a snow that's going to pile up.
Yeah, that's the stuff. The white stuff, to be exact.
Winter's here, and it looks like it's going to be a while.
It sure is. And don't forget, when it comes to winter's worst, expect more from the best. First Warn Weather.
A major snowfall event.
Travel will be hazardous, sometimes impossible at times.
But man, I tell you what, we have bitter cold conditions come in as we go through Wednesday afternoon. Snowfall continues across most of the area. We still got the alert day just for that.
First Warn Weather on News 8 Now.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
1,000 skiers carved a giant heart into a Swiss slope, honoring the 40 people killed in that New Year's Eve bar fire. The tribute took place on the Bella Louise slope, a famous World Cup downhill course. Most of the skiers were children who were supposed to race that day.
I'm on Highway 53 on the way to Osseo, and viewers, I'm going to tell you what my chief photographer told me. This is unpleasant driving weather. So real quick, I'll give you guys a live look at the road conditions right now. The rain started at 6 a.m. and it is still going strong. The roads are slippery, so if you do drive, use caution and don't speed, and be aware of the ice that's going to form because of the rain. Reporting on Highway 53, Seth Padilla, News 8 Now this morning.
Thank you, Seth. And also developing now, growing reaction to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's announcement that he won't seek a third term as his state is in the midst of a fraud scandal. Some residents say it's time for a change. Political experts say the scandal could lead to Democrats losing the governor's seat in November.
This is a very high-stakes midterm election in Minnesota. And for Democrats, I am sure they were worried that Tim Walz could potentially drag down the rest of the ticket.
Senator Amy Klobuchar could be the front runner, but she has not announced official plans to run quite yet.
All right, with temperatures near the freezing mark, we're going to hold on to the possibility of, again, accumulating snowfall later on. You can see it in the far left-hand corner of your screen there at the top. We're also going to have increasing ice developing in that salmon color, pretty much widespread by Rice Lake all the way down to Eau Claire, getting to Winona as well as Black River Falls, and then eventually La Crosse as we go through the next hour or so. And that's going to continue to go right into the mid-morning hours. You see the ice up to the north, that's what's happening there, but down to the central portion and the southern portion, you've got at least a half an inch of rainfall carrying over to about a quarter of an inch or less in the forecast for more rainfall on the way. Next couple of days, Wednesday, Thursday, we're talking temperatures in the 40s, so we're in the warm, and that means temperatures are going to be on the drier side until we get into Thursday with more rainfall on the way, then snowfall for Friday and Saturday.
All right, thank you, Art. Thanks for waking up with